I'm Tom Johnson of Thomas Johnson Antique Furniture Restoration in Gorham, Maine. We have a vanity here, a nice mahogany vanity, and the painters, when they were moving it, broke the leg completely off. To repair it, I want to get a dowel in there that goes across this break, but I can't drill it when it's so ragged like this. So what I intend to do is I'm going to glue this back exactly where it goes. Then I'll cut squarely across that break, and that'll give me clean surfaces to set up and drill for a dowel, and then glue it back for the final time. First, I'm going to clamp a block to the top. Now I've measured the distance between the legs, taken some scrap wood, and drilled some holes which are going to hold this leg now into position. Even with my braces, I'm still, and it looks perfectly straight, I'm going to measure the diagonals to make sure it's square. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now I'm ready to cut this leg. First thing I'm going to do is mark it so that I can make sure I have it oriented the correct way when I glue it back. There's no good way for me to mark this because I'm doing it inside this curve here. So I'm just going to, I've leveled this up and I'm just going to do it freehand. I'm carefully going around the circumference of this leg, scoring it before I attempt to cut all the way through. Typically I would make the dowel about half of the thickness of this, but and this is about 1 1/4, but I'm just going to go with a 1/2 inch dowel. I want my dowel to be 3 inches long, so I want to drill into each section 1 1/2 inches. I'm going to just freehand this drilling, so I want this leg to be as vertical as possible. I'm just going to eyeball it. I can't put a level on it. It's a tapered leg, so I'll eyeball it. Now I try to drill these as accurately as possible, but the fact is I want it a little bit sloppy. And then I will glue it up. I'll use epoxy. And that gives me the ability to adjust the leg and make sure that it's perfectly straight. This slot in the dowel will let any trapped air to escape during the glue up. I'm just chamfering the ends of the dowels a little bit. Okay, first a dry run. It looks like it's going to glue up pretty well without even having to have a sloppy joint. Okay, I'm going to do the glue up. As it turns out, my joint is so accurate and so tight that I can use regular wood glue. If that slot wasn't there, I may not have been able to get that dowel all the way down there. Boy, the leg seems really strong. Okay, now I just have to touch up this area where the crack was. Okay, so now I'm going to file this with a rasp, sand it, fill in any areas that need it with a little bit of putty. And sand it again, and then stain it. The stain is dry. I'm going to use aerosols to finish it. I'm going to seal it with a couple coats of shellac. Sand that. Use toner as necessary. And then put a coat of satin on top. So I've sprayed a final coat of satin on here. Now I'll remove all this paper, and then I'll go over the whole piece with my beeswax polish. So if you remember, the only thing that was wrong with this was this leg was completely broken off, and I repaired it. I can hardly see the repair myself. It looks pretty good.